a follow-up video on the Boker Real Steel Folding Bushcraft knife because there was things I forgot to mention. That this is tactical because of the quick deploy thumb studs there. One issue that's come up is the fact that you can't sharpen this knife with the thumb stud, so you have to take that off when you want to sharpen this. But it is removable. I have looked for other folding bushcraft knives, and I haven't found any that are D2 steel with a Scandi grind. There is a Finwolf that is a Scandi grind, but it's a different kind. It's not a D2 tool steel. But the one thing I didn't like about the Finwolf is, and that's from Cold Steel, is that the liner is just G2. It's plastic. So this has a steel liner. And the Finwolf is about the same price as this, and I was very much thinking about buying it, but I just couldn't get over the fact that it was just a plastic liner. I mean, this is a good plastic, but this has a nice thick steel liner, so it just makes it much more sturdy. Another thing I forgot to mention is the handle and how ergonomic it is. It's got this slanted groove pattern that makes this very, grippy, and it doesn't feel like a pocket knife. I mean, this is a full handle with a full grip. I don't know if you can see that. So that's another thing that I really liked. Now, this is heavy. That's another drawback. This is a heavy knife. In an earlier video I have the weight and the specs, but so this I have been using for EDC because it folds. The sheath is crap, I mean, to be honest, but folding knives don't need sheaths, and I can throw this in my backpack or my pocket. It's not too bad in my pocket, actually. I have that little small pocket in your jeans. I just slip it in there and it's fine. And for a city dweller, I want to have a knife that is, easy to carry, because it's kind of hard to carry full tang knives. But I also want to have a knife in case of an emergency situation that's a real tool, that's a real knife. If your survival knife is the one you have on you, this would be a great choice. If you just had one knife, this could be a good one. So my whole philosophy, if you haven't figured out, is I'm really drawn to knives that are one-night solutions. So this wouldn't be ideal because it's folding, but if this is all you had, this would be way better than nothing. In fact, this would be an amazing tool to have. So I predict that this knife is going to do well. There's a lot of things about it that make it very desirable. It's quick deploy. One other thing I need to mention is that when I first got it, this was centered. Now it's kind of on the side. I don't know if you can see that. I did drop this a couple of times. I'm not sure if that's because I dropped it, but I don't think so. I think it's because it's being pushed over by the mechanism. So that's probably going to happen. This is very common with folding knives, but it doesn't really seem to affect the knife when it's open. So, but it's kind of a little thing that bugs me a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. It used to be centered, but as it's loosened up, it's getting pushed to the side by the mechanism in there. So to wrap up, what you have here is a tactical bushcraft knife, which is an oxymoron because those are usually two opposite things. Tactical refers to self-defense. Could you use this for self-defense? Absolutely. It's very thick and sturdy and grippy and quick deploying. It's definitely got a sharp enough tip. You could definitely defend yourself with this. But its function is a bushcraft knife, and it's designed like a bushcraft knife. So for someone living in the city, this is a perfect knife for me. It's a little big and heavy, but it's kind of unique. You're not going to find a knife that has these qualities for this price. I mean, it doesn't exist. I mean, you can find other folding bushcraft knives, but you're going to pay. There's I think it's a Gonzo or I can't remember the name of it, but I found a folding bushcraft knife that has a steel liner, and it was nice. You know, it's got a Scandi grind. It doesn't have D2 steel, but it's, you know, $150. So I think the selling point ultimately was this steel liner. That's what made me choose this over the cold steel Finn-Wolf, which is too bad. If the Finn-Wolf had a steel liner, that would be a really nice knife. And I'm sure it is a nice knife still, but there's something about just having a plastic liner that just was a turn off to me. So anyway, if you're a knife person, look into these. They're just neat. Just a neat thing, and I hope that the company does well. And I think this knife will do well.